We're shining bright, and we're shining the light on us like no other. Neighborhood Planet, our neighborhood, our world. Tune in and stream live now. Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave, the podcast, is now being broadcast on NPN Voice. NPN Voice can be found on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, and now on Audible and Amazon Music, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave, the podcast, now on NPN Voice. NPN Voice. Got voice. You heard?
Suave afternoon, Suave afternoon, Suave afternoon. This is Brother Suave, your mind-blowing, thought-provoking, and eye-opening on-air personality, life coach, psychotherapist, author, and creator. Hope you guys having a suavelous day.
Yeah, and with that, let's commence to pay. Okay, I'm so suavelous, you so suavelous. Together we can fix the trauma that's befallen us. Divine social interactions remains marvelous. Mind-blowing, suavelicious talk, higher consciousness. But think, let not your hearts be troubled. Dr. Brother Suave, divine light get you double.
Greetings, this is Dr. Brother Suave, your mind-blowing, thought-provoking, and eye-opening on-air personality, life coach, psychotherapist, author, creator, and the host of Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave. Listen, what a day. What a day. I am blessed to see another day I've never seen before. Another day to get it right. Another day to tell the friends, family members, those who I love and respect, I love them. Man, this is an amazing day. This beautiful Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. What a swabrific day. So happy, man. I'm so happy. I am actually exhausted, but I'm happy. I'm blessed because it was God that gave me an opportunity to get this my energy right for today's show. Because let me tell you, today, between clients, getting up, cooking my breakfast, getting my exercise in, and did some stretching today. Oh my God, listen, this is why sometimes the elders, they tell you, keep living, keep living. Let me tell you something. And so here I am going to the, it's a stretching class, the healing and stretching class today. So of course, some of the people are 10, 20, and 30 years my senior. And this is why it's so important to take care of your mind, your body, and your soul, because let me tell you, you need it. And so I was stretching, and it was very challenging. I'm seeing these people being able to touch their toes and stretch and have a lot of mobility, ranges of emotions where mine wasn't intact. But again, it was my first day. My body had sustained a lot of injuries, a lot of trauma to the body. But man, I'm happy I got through it, and it was a great day. Brother Hair gave him a haircut and shave, and then cooked, and then I end up getting on cycling. Cycling is amazing. It's amazing. I love it. But let me tell you, today was my first day out, and it kicked my behind. But I did it. I made it all the way to the finish line. That terrain going up them hills, coming down, and it was a great experience. And it's something I make a recommendation. Listen, sometimes we don't like to run. Man, it's nothing better than cycling. I remember old pastor in Miami, Pastor Wayne Lomax. I remember he used to always talk about cycling. That's something he loves doing. Well, Pastor Lomax, just telling you, give me a shout out, man. I'd enjoyed this cycling, family. So that's going to be my new thing. But anyway, just happy to be here. Thank you, Brother Wally, for showing up and showing out. Listen, yes, I'm ready to have a great show myself. So what we're going to do, listen, back by popular demand, part 2 of my annual Black Man's Dialogue. Our topic is more positive Black male images, and we're trying to make sure we're seeing more positive Black men and the families in a more positive light. And listen, last week, man, people wanted to hear more. We didn't get a chance to see more, but we're going to make sure we show up and show out today. We're going to have our very special guest that we had last week, the General, father to 6, and Vanless Lee. Listen, them brothers are sharp brothers. They tight brothers. And we want to go ahead and continue our dialogue, these brothers, because it is, again, it's been an ongoing agenda to feminize men, not to see us in positive lights. We are the leaders, so we're the heads of our Black families. Listen, I'm not talking about how it is. We're talking about how it should be, and we're changing the narrative. Our voices need to be heard because we are leaders. We're providers and protectors, and we're taking our seat. Because as far as I'm concerned, I never lost mine. But again, overall, because again, I don't argue exceptions. How you doing, brother Fred Jones? We're going to get here. We're going to take up because we are men. We're not grown boys. We're not adult males. And we're going to have to possibly redirect a lot of our sisters out there who just somehow misunderstanding what a man is. And we're going to share our different perspectives. We have different backgrounds, different religious, social, spiritual beliefs. But guess what? At the end of the day, we are the kings of our families. And we're here to show up and show out. So guess what? Tell your friends, tell your family members, share, engage, give us feedback. We would love it. But again, tell your friends. If you're a friend or family members of mine, look on my page on Suave Walker, share that, because we want some engagement tonight. Because we're going to have a very mind-blowing, thought-provoking, and eye-opening experience. So without further ado, we're going to bring on our kings for the night. Hey, General, how you doing, King? Hey, King, brother Vanless, how you doing, King?
Doing well, well.
Yes,
peace, blessings, and peace.
Absolutely, man. Hey, thank you for honoring us for coming back today, man. Listen, it was a amazing time, man. We tore it up, but I guess the people want more. And we didn't get a chance to really cover a lot of our discussion, that some of the topics we had, but guess what? We're going to try to get as far as we can today.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And so I'm not going to hold us up. I just want to ask you guys, how was your week, your day so far, your weekend, and share with us, starting with the General.
Been a marvelous week. Spent the weekend with the family, just chilled out and just bonded. I just love relaxing. I love being with the family. Work comes into play, but it's all about balance and grounding. So I've been doing that and focusing on that. So that's it.
Vanless.
Hey, peace, brothers. How you feeling? My week has been very eventful. Just worked throughout the week. Just laying, one brick at a time. Still building my brand. Juicy Comp Fresh here in Jacksonville, Florida. Get more info on venues and events I can attend, so I can, just plant the seed and grow, and just taking it one step at a time, staying consistent with, myself, and working out. I've got myself on a 12-week goal set. Trying to lose about maybe 20 pounds. Not going to get too crazy. Like you said before about the exercise. Yeah, I did my legs the other day, man. I'm still feeling it's like anytime somebody doing leg workouts and like squats and stuff, man, it takes at least I guess how you say when you get older, it takes time to heal, because it's like, geez, everybody like, man, it takes like a couple of days for the quads to like heal up, man. The job be so tight, and it's like feel like somebody kicked you in both your legs. Oh my goodness. Like every leg day is like, but they say don't skip it. So just keep it going, and definitely stay consistent. And like you just said, about your class, Brother Suave, with the elders, to reach their age and be mobile and, stretch and be able to move in just simple movements as we get older is an accomplishment in itself.
Absolutely.
Just keeping it consistent with myself and with my business, and pretty much that's it. Nothing to complain about. Everything's ascended like it should be.
Okay. Well, listen, I apologize for listening, audience. So Vanna, since you're on, just tell them briefly about yourself, and then we're going to follow up with the general, so they can reintroducing yourself
Okay.
to the audience.
Okay. Peace, everyone. My name is Evangelist Lee, originally from Miami, Florida, and we currently reside in Jacksonville, Florida. I am a small businessman employed at Florida State College of Jacksonville, doing security out there, and I'm here to spread the awareness of Black men in a positive image. And like the topic says, Brother Suave, we need to be heard in that light. And
Absolutely.
on my path, as Brother Suave has seen the growth in me from my youth to where I am now, to see that my progression, and it's been in a positive light. You
Yeah,
know,
yes, sir.
it's nothing. Has been negative. I haven't been deterred from my path. Have I had setbacks like what we all do. But I stayed the course, and I'm still here.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and I'm just still learning, still growing on my path to greatness, and that's it.
Yes.
Father to Six, I am the general. The general
Yes.
on all platforms, fatherto6.com. I'm an inspirationalist, a fatherhood, a fatherhood social media influencer. I talk about life. I started off as a teen dad, 15 going on 16 with my first child, 5 children later. I'm just out here giving out life lessons that I've learned, but most of all, a student of life. I am a certified life coach. I do help people reach their goals. Not a therapist, but I'm a cheerleader in a sense. But an inspirationalist, just giving people inspiration to keep going, because a lot of people, including myself, there's been times where, you know what, that light ain't that bright sometimes, and it's a little dark in the room, and you need somebody to come up in there and just kind of, turn the light on a little bit, kind of guide you the right way. So, Father to Six, I'm the general, ready to get it.
Yes, yes. Thank you, brothers. Listen, I'm just so happy, man, you guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow up from last week. We was going over a few things about how masculinity has been so disrespectful to us that we got to go around acting like we're on the down low and feel like all uncomfortable about being comfortable in our masculinity, us being men, and how the words we use, and how sometimes we don't have to feel uncomfortable about speaking our truth, walking our truth, living our truth. We're men. We're very instrumental in actually building this world. And sometimes we act like we're afraid to talk about those things. Doesn't mean our female counterparts are any less, because again, balance, because we wouldn't exist without them and they wouldn't exist without us. But society is somehow trying to eliminate us and take us and create this narrative like we don't exist. And we are extremely significant. I think the most significant. And I'm saying, like I said, I'm not marginalized. It's just that we created this world. What I'm saying? We built these pyramids. That took strength. That took hard work. And for somebody just to sit there and say, to do it, the wars, we fought the wars at the beginning of civilization. And we're gonna sit there and just marginalize us and sit there and say, oh, we're not men. No, we are men. We built this world and we were very instrumental. And I think we need to walk in our truth and don't be around here being afraid to say I'm a man. And I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about we earned our stripes. We take care of our families. We serve our community. We praise each other. We edify each other. We acknowledge each other. We take care of our families, and we do what men do. We don't turn our back on our friends. When we have disagreements, we learn how to resolve those things. We have troubleshooting skills. We know how to deal with conflict resolution. Our first reaction is the violence. No. And these are the things that people don't talk about. They don't talk about our strength, and the strength is the self-control. They don't talk about and recognize how we can sit there and say, hey man, Vanless, I love you. Hey General, I love you. They don't see those things when nobody's watching, And
I love you too, brother.
And so we're here to say, hey, listen, this is a dialogue with us. Not black boy dialogue, not black grown boy dialogue, not black male dialogue. This is a black man dialogue. And so we want to let society know that, hey, I'm not quiet about it. I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. And the reality is I'm proud, because God could have made me anything, but he made me a black man. And I'm proud of that. So again, man, Last time we was talking about, I think we left off on watering down the strong black man image and how they trying to blur the lines, you know, and the thing, you know, and I was just watching television over the past week, and anybody know me because I have to really give credit to my mentor, Dr. Marilyn Volker, because I remember being super homophobic, being very disrespectful, but then I realized, and I had to grow and realize, like, no matter what's the person orientation, everybody wants to be loved, everybody wants to be respected, and everybody wants to be treated with dignity. And so as I became more aware, I became respectful in a way that I wasn't in the past. But one of the things that is bothering me is, like, you know how, I don't know if anybody remember, but it was like on a Little Rascals. It was way back. I used to watch it in the 70s, but you know, the Little Rascals came out way before I was born. But it was a particular character to say, what's the significance? And so, so I say that to say that when we're watching entertainment, watching our families, and I mean television, and it's almost like it's strategic and putting into these roles really insignificant feminine males in these roles. And I'm like, okay, are you just trying to incorporate and include just for the person to include? So you put in these roles and it's just, and then now it's becoming oversaturated. And I'm not about exclusion, but I'm just wondering what's the point? Because every way we see it is just finding somebody, even when you have a husband and wife, they're somehow trying to have the guy just look so feminine. His base is going, we can't control how you talk and your voice. You know, Tyson had a light voice. But what I'm saying is these are the images that they're trying to put out there to make us look more and more feminine. And it's just an issue to me. And of course, my issues are my issues. And I'm not going to sit there and project it on anyone. But this is just saying, looking at these images and then how that eventually waters down us as individual men. And it also waters down our family because they don't see us as protectors. They don't see us as providers. And as we already seeing the strategic, the conspiracy in terms of making sure we're incarcerated so we get felonies so we can't make decent wages so we can take care of our families. And then having these situations where our female counterparts, and again, we have the same opportunity to get an education or get a skill set to make money to provide for them. What I'm saying is we're getting jacked up so bad before we even get our start. They're just looking at anything to do to give us a record so we can get that tag on us. But again, it's just to me, I want to see us get from under that dark cloud that's been hindering us, because a lot of times we're not having fathers in our families and not men to be there. Like the brother right there, every time I talk to him, he's always sowing into his life, of the life of his kids. It never ceases. And it shows that commitment that society don't want to edify. They don't want to show. And we have millions out there. I'm not talking about 10,000 or a few, but millions. But they need to make sure they show those images and more frequently and more consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. And I thank you very much, first of all, for having me on the show. Thank you so much for the compliments. And I know this is things that I do, but I honor you and I thank you and give gratitude to not only you, but to everyone who does uplift myself and men like me, even those without children. Because, you know, when my kids are not at home and they're in football practice, you know, sports practice, it's those coaches out there too. It's the teachers out there, it's the administrators, it's everybody in the community, because that's how we grew up. That's how our structure is. You know what I mean? It's not just one person or two people or just the mom and the dad. It's the auntie. It's the uncle. It's the nephew, the cousins. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, I had to redirect myself. And speaking personally, I used to be mad at media. But then again, I had to remember, like, I can't be mad at media because that's their business. They're doing this to make their money, right? So by me watching it, I'm providing food on their table, because they get paid by the ads. So the AdSense, so that the sponsors say, how many people watching your show or watching your station? We got about 17 million. Cool. We're going to break you off with this bread because of that. So number one, we need to get a hold of the media representation. We need to stop sowing into those things that don't portray what we actually look like. Mm-hmm. Stop giving into those that don't portray what we want to see. the importance of diversity and accurate representation in media. Okay. Film representation. They always talk about box office hits. Oh, this was the biggest blockbuster hit, 76 million in a weekend. We need to cut it out, ladies and gentlemen. Advertising, that I just touched on that. News and journalism. We need to stop subscribing to all these news outlets and journalists who's portraying the wrong story. Okay. We need to start celebrating positive Black role models in the media. You see what I'm saying? Positive actors that we see that represent us. Those actors who say, you know what, I'm not doing that role. I'm not saying that. I'm not wearing that. Musicians who are just not going to say anything because that's how they get us. Okay. Athletes who ain't just going to do anything for the dollar. You see what I'm saying? Authors. We need to start pushing our authors into our schools. Start speaking to our intellectuals, community leaders and community activists, encouraging the creation and support of Black-owned media outlets and businesses. Because the more Black businesses that we support, we can start putting our media and putting our stuff in there, our images in there. You see what I'm saying? So those are some of the things we could do. I didn't even touch on education. You know what I mean? Teaching history and culture, not only in the school system, but you know what? When it comes time of re-election board and this superintendent and this person running for the school board, you know what I mean? No, we need to come as a community and say, you know what, hey, such and such George, or, you know, Shalonda, Keisha, whoever that's a part of our community, we need you to run. You see what I'm saying? You need to get tapped on the shoulder. We need you to run, and this is the things that we want you to push for the community. Accurate and comprehensive Black history in schools. You know what I mean? Accurate. Two more things. Supporting Black educators and role models in the school. You see what I'm saying? So we have Black educators, and it's not just only Black people, because we got our other counterparts who may not be Black, but they for the cause too. You see what I'm saying? And start supporting them. When they say they need help at the school, brothers, let's go ahead and step out there, even if you don't have kids out there. You see what I'm saying? Promoting positive Black role models in literature and in the curriculum. Because a lot of times, a lot of books and authors and those people that's pushing the literature in the education don't really look like us. So those are the things that we could do to include community engagement. Community engagement is just is engaging in the community. I remember back in the day, it was real big. You used to have block parties almost daggone 4, 5, 6, 7 times a year. And a block party, for those who don't know, is where we cut off the block. When I say cut off the block from traffic, we get some speakers, some nice music that's our cultural music. We open up the fire hydrant, or you get a little barbecue, and they got a couple people barbecuing on the block. Somebody doing some American barbecue, somebody doing some jerk chicken, somebody doing this, somebody doing that, and we all having a big old reunion and celebration. That, you know what, I'm just glad to be alive. All the kids is outside. We renting out the blow up houses. Yeah. It's just a party. You know what I mean? And it's a good engagement. Everybody's coming out, having a good old time. Yeah, you might have a couple of beers out there, but there ain't nobody getting crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? So those are the things that we can do. And those are our solutions, because we know the problems. You know what I mean? So now solutions.
Absolutely. And we have a comment. It says, Brother Fred Jones, it said, why do you think we as a people fail to unite for this cause? Anybody want to answer?
I'll touch on that. Okay. We fail to unite because I think that we're scared. We're scared. Number one, scared to step up, because we're so focused on what people would think about what we say and what we do. Number two, we may not have the examples. So you're like, I'm not sure how to do it, so I ain't going to do it at all because I don't want to mess nothing up. When you go ahead and volunteer yourself and have that courage, you ain't messing something up. Yeah. You're starting something. You know what I mean? And it's always tougher to start something, because I remember being in the military and you the point man. That's one of the hardest jobs. And the point man is usually not the one in charge, but they are the one who tell everybody what to do. Okay. So the point man goes up front. They usually, if it's in the jungle, they cutting this stuff down and they giving direction to everyone in the back. Okay. So if I see something as the point man, I'm doing this. That means stop. You know what I mean? I might tell you let's go. The point man may not be the one that's in control. That's the leader, or the commander, but they're the one who brings everybody to the direction that they feel is safe. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I feel like we're not doing it because we're afraid. We don't have the examples. And I think that's the top two. That's the top two right there. We're afraid and we don't have the examples. We should just step it up. Have that courage.
I'd like to touch on that and bounce off that. And I agree with you, General. People are afraid, but there's a reason why people are afraid in a sense. And all this talking about the media, the entertainment, it's all a mental programming of why we are like how we are. Because I think it was W.E.B. Du Bois, or it was another writer that stated that if you control how a man thinks, you don't have to worry about what his action is going to be. Okay. So, and then moving forward, getting deeper than that, in the immortal words of Malcolm X, said that if you're going to help black people, but you can't help black people and please white people at the same time. You see, because us as black men, as black people in this country, in America, our definition of racist, we can't be, because we never had the power. Racism is prejudice plus power. We never had the power to do such a thing. And then to get deeper than that, in my opinion, my humble opinion, we have to create our own power dynamic in which we control. There's nothing, it's not touched by European hands and not controlled by European rules or mindset. That's just strictly for us. You see what I'm saying? And that's when you will see a definite change, because it's all about the money, right? So who controls the money across the globe? You have mostly the people that control the money that go in the central banks around the globe are mostly white. And what I think they were the Rockefellers and who else? Help me out here. That control the banks, and all the central banks around the world are controlled by the Rothschilds and one family. So we have black billionaires, but we don't have our own currency with our money flowing through it. So if you want to get a deep control mindset, you have to go to the dynamic of how white people are thinking, and then dig deep and control and say we own that. Because with the information that Brother General said, which is I'm in agreement with all what you said, bro. But at the same time, we have to go deeper than that and go harder than that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, go ahead.
One thing I want to touch on with that. Let's talk about the circulation of the black dollar. Okay, we're not putting that money back into our community. So no matter what do we do when it comes to, we could open up businesses all the time, but if we're not putting that money back into our community, it ain't gonna be effective. That's number one. Number two, I agree with you on the media. Yeah, they brainwashing the heck out of people. It's nothing I can say to sugarcoat it or not. But this is how we can reverse it. We can, number one, start at the smallest levels. So when my kids at home, I control what they're watching. When they got that tablet and they cell phone there, you're watching that tablet and cell phone around me on loud, so I can hear what the hell going on. Turn from that. Matt, press the thumbs down on that joint. So let me see what your For You page look like. Everybody got a For You page, and that For You page tell us to what you look at the most. So let's start at the smallest levels, because honestly, I know I'm gonna speak for myself. I can't change the networks and everything right now, but I can change what's on my screens, right? And then I got homeboys and homegirls. You know what I mean? Men and women that respect me and I respect them. You see what I'm saying? We can make a pact. You know, hey, you know what? How about this? Let's not watch this right here. Okay, let's not share this on our social media right here. It's gonna be tough because we're conditioned to seeing it all the time. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to making a change, what are you willing to do to make it work?
Yeah. And then with all the negative insight, I hope I didn't cut you off, bro. All the negative insight on Twitter, Facebook, and all the other internet platforms, we have people fighting, on YouTube. They have a like, it's like every other day you see somebody fighting, and it's like young black kids or I mean, you don't hardly see. I mean, you have some videos of like white people fighting, but they always show some black kids fighting or some women fighting, men fighting, and it's like we keep recording this stuff and putting it on the internet. You understand? And it's like we have to learn how to trust each other with money. If 250,000 people donated $1, that's over $1 million in a month for a week. If 250,000 black folks donated $1, that's over $1 million in a month. So we are the only people in America that have not made each other wealthy. Everybody else has made it. The Chinese, Jewish, Japanese, everybody else has made each other wealthy except us.
Okay. I wanted to address it. I'm going to read this song by Fred Jones. Said, trust is an issue also. We don't trust our people. And that agenda has been set into play a long time ago. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. Again, okay. Edgar Wayroy says, yeah, that's good. Oh, can you bring it back? Yeah, that's good and all, but everyone is not where we are in that mindset, and people in our hood are so negative towards each other. One of the things,
can I say this?
Yeah, you can go ahead because I gotta go ahead.
Okay. But that's where this dialogue starts at, to plant the seed, and now from this conversation, actions must be implemented to follow the plan to start something that we can back up.
Yeah.
Because we already have the solution. Like General said, we already have solutions. Now it's time to implement it.
Yeah. Well,
people like, okay, go ahead.
No, and this is why, again, I initiated this is because I remember Les Brown say you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to become great, and so that inspired me to have my own point of potential without initiative is nothing but a conversation with yourself and others and doing absolutely nothing. See, the thing is, we have these conversations, but it's this dialogue is just an hour. It's not about these conversations about how you act when we're not on the camera, when we're not on the show, because again, we don't control what goes in our head, but we control our actions in our mouths and what comes out our mouth. And so I choose to speak positive in life, not what we can't do, but what we can, because can comes before can't. And the reason we have these trust issues, reason why we say we can't, is because it's like what we have in us. This is why life don't always go right for us, because we don't have the right mindset. So you have to always challenge yourself, stretch yourself, and wonder if your life reflective of your mindset. And so when we look at everything, and I trust that we're hopefully that no one gets offended, but the reality is money is not everything. We put emphasis on it so much. The reality is my richness is in my psyche. My richness is how I carry myself. My richness is how I love and check on people. Those things are important because we've seen fools with money. It's like alcohol. A fool with alcohol is going to be a bigger fool. A fool with money is going to be a bigger fool. We see year in and year out, people have money and they win these $1 billion lottos and they broke within a few years. So money is not the answer. We have to be convicted about how we act in terms of respect, take care, provide, how our morals and values lead us. We sit there and talk about money and everybody getting rich. Listen, if we don't know what rich is by 2022, it's just like defining success. Look at success and look at money. Money. Listen, I've seen anybody know me. I have millionaire friends, and they don't do nothing for me. They make you work hard to get it, just like they got it. But what the respect is your ethics and how you work hard to gain that, and that's where the success comes in, not the monetary sense, is but achieving your goals, and the monetary just comes with it. That's why they say when you're pursuing something, pursue that. Don't be focused on the money. So at the end of the day, Brother Vanlis,
Yes, sir.
when you look at professional sports, and I was just talking to my god brother, and he was telling me his highest set contract was less than what I was making when I started my law enforcement career. Now, of course, it has incentives, and they make a lot of money, but the reality is this: you see what these kids are making now? They're not making the best decisions. They're just making more money. We have more black billionaires. We used to say we have more black millionaires, and we got more black billionaires. But has our country, has our community come together in terms of doing things like some of the things Brother General said, some of the things you say in terms of bringing our schools, our media, and all that? No, it hasn't done anything. So we need to, like, for example, I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to respond to Brother Wally. So please keep it up. I've learned so much for this brother about money. It's value systems. I'm going to put this out there, and I can give a HEW. I don't care about anybody how they perceive it. I'm that guy who check on people, give them their flowers, telling them I love them while they breathing. Has nothing to do with money. Money's not everything, and I'm blessed to have a little bit of money to keep myself, take care of my responsibilities, keep a roof over my head, and do what I have to do. But what's important is people, our families, our friends. We always say family, but we don't check on them. We don't see how they doing. But guess what? Let it be someone die. Everybody, I wish you, and everybody. The funeral is our family reunions these days. So again, we have to really evaluate things in a different perspective, and not always in a monetary sense, because that's taking us way more and more away from our value system. So I'm going to read this comment. It says, education, politics, religion, music, and videos. Some of the weapons used to keep us polarized against each other. Money in each if these is used to pimp over the needy or too greedy. And this is what I'm talking about. So again, we got to really prioritize. Everybody wants a little bit, but at the end of the day, man, listen, anybody know I have redefined what perfect is, because I'm perfect. And people are like, wait, hold on. You tripping, Brother Suave. Yes, y'all know what I mean. See, my ugly hands have been broken and messed up so many times. But guess what? How many fingers, including the thumb, makes a hand complete and perfect? 5, and I got all of them. But guess what? This thumb right here is going to represent something. And it's going to represent shelter. It ain't the best looking thumb. It's jammed. You see that broken jump and all twisted? But guess what? It's this, and it's functional. Guess what? I got my house. Doesn't mean I got the most expensive house, the biggest house, the baddest house. But guess what? I have shelter. This finger right here, again, it's a finger. It exists and it functions. But guess what? It's going to represent transportation. I didn't say I had the baddest car, fastest car, but I got a car. That's my transportation. So guess what? This finger right here, see it's crooked? You see how it's going? Bam, broken and all that. Been twisted and broken, ligament damage. But guess what? This is going to mean resources. I got the resources. I got the resources to take care of what I need to take care of, my career to do what I need to do. This finger right here, yes, another one's crooked, broken 3 times. But guess what? This is going to represent money. I didn't say I had the most money. I didn't say I was a millionaire. I didn't even say I was a thousandaire. But I got enough money to take care of all my needs. My basic needs are always met. And see this finger right here? You know what it's going to represent? Food. I didn't say I have filet mignon every day. I didn't say I have lobster, shrimp, and all vegan food. But guess what? I got food. I got food that keep me nourished every day of my life. So guess what? I'm perfect because I'm complete. So we have to really prioritize and look at things from a whole different perspective. We have to take off our glasses and see things in a clearer perspective. So this is what I have to say. We money is great, but let me tell you something. What's the brother named Steve Jobs? When he started seeing things, he had a different perspective about money because he had everything. You understand? Go ahead, brother Vanlis. I saw you.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. Because back then when we were coming up, you know, back in the 70s, people didn't. I mean, even later, or earlier than that, in the 50s, people valued family.
Yes. Yes.
They valued family. They didn't value money. They valued, okay, making sure little Trayvon went to school on time and came home, you know, with you know, had lunch and stuff and came back home safe, you know, when it got picked up. And then, you know, nowadays these parents are letting these kids go out to the movies and, you know, hell, they be outside or whatever till what, like 10 o'clock at night. Dude, you nah, street light come on. Street light come on. You have your butt in the house.
Street light.
Street light come on in, like, hey, let dark catch you. And you get that butt tap, you know, from New York to Miami. You know? Yes. That was law.
Yes.
That's the morality and the mindset and the mentality that you're talking about, brother. And that's what needs to be reinstilled. It's like the African word that says Sankofa. We have to relearn these types of attributes and values. We created, like you said, we created this world. So everything you see around us, down to the money, says we started it first. Now we have to relearn how we controlled it all.
Yeah.
And when we start doing that, that's when you're gonna see some black power.
Yes. What we're gonna do before we go general, we're gonna recognize and do a station identification. We'll be right back with Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave.
Tune in and stream live now. Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave, the podcast, is now being broadcast on NPN Voice. NPN Voice can be found on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, and now on Audible and Amazon Music, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave, the podcast, now on NPN Voice. NPN Voice. Got voice. You heard?
We're back with Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave and our very special guest, the General and Vandalist. Man, listen. Thank you, man. Listen, General, you was getting ready to say something, man. I'm not gonna throw the momentum. I'm sorry I broke it, but go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to just address some of the other things that was sick. I wanted to touch on it. I see those fights. I see the buffoonery.
Yeah.
But I don't watch the whole thing. You see what I'm saying? Because I see the first second, I swipe up. I don't even want that coming into my consciousness.
It's negative.
Right. I grew up in Brooklyn. I didn't see that. I don't want to see it no more. Okay. I can actually walk away. Secondly, I don't engage on the comment level. Twitter, Facebook, none of that. If I don't like it, I'm not engaged. I'm not going to give you my time. I don't watch it. I don't engage. Next, we donate. We give. You see what I'm saying? We do. You know what I mean? And I'm about to say something going to touch some souls real quick, but I'm going to do it because we're going to keep it 100 on. We're going to keep it a buck. We give to the church, don't we? Right? Yeah. And this is not every church, because I know a lot of churches out there that's in the community doing the work. And it's not just churches, temples, whatever the religious name for it is. There's ones that's out there. But I know one thing about my people, our people, because my grandma, your grandma, they give. You see what I'm saying? Mindset. Let's talk about mindset. Let's get with like-minded folks. Let's not even worry about those folks who ain't on the same mindset as us. I'm not even going to address bro or sis, because I know they're not even on that level now. Right now. So right now, I'm only going to connect with like-minded individuals. You see what I'm saying? Like-minded individuals on the bottom, on the foundational level. The foundational level is my next door neighbor, my homeboy. Y'all two are my foundational level. You see what I'm saying? Next, trust issues. We all got trust issues on every daggone level. We all do. But let me tell you something about the trust issues. We don't need to keep trusting and going to the same person who's scamming you behind. You see what I'm saying? You got scammed by this person, or this person ain't do right, or they didn't deliver like they're supposed to. Don't be her habitual or repeat offender, getting taken advantage of all the time. Okay? Because we keep trusting the same old politicians.
Yes.
Every 4 years, 8 years, we keep trusting them, because when I say we keep trusting them, maybe you're voting for them, maybe you're not voting for them. You see what I'm saying? But we keep trusting them. We keep trusting the police chiefs out there. Those people that's in charge of our safety. Not only police, but all safety in the county, city, whatever your municipal environment is. We keep trusting the school boards. You see what I'm saying? Get them folks the heck up out of there. All right. What are the collective goals? That's my next thing. Collective goals. Okay, what's our goals here? And you know what? Our goals may differ depending on the region you in. I got it. You see what I'm saying? But out of all the goals we have in the different regions and sections we in, one of those goals got to be collective for everybody. You see what I'm saying? So we got one goal that we are all like, okay, you know what? Y'all, you in Florida, me and Dr. Brother Suave in Georgia, but we in different parts. Okay, let's start pushing that collective goals in those areas of where we at. Next, let's take accountability for our own actions. Yeah, you know what? We could talk all the time, and I've done this before about what this person ain't doing, what these group of people ain't doing. What that? Okay, let's talk about me, because I can only hold myself accountable, and my kids, and my household, and those who are in my circle. Because I can tell my bro, like, yo, bro, what's going on, bro? Yeah, come on. Let's talk. I can hold him accountable. I can hold her accountable. So let's hold our own accountable, the ones that we can hold accountable, who ain't gonna buck back at us. You know what I mean? Who ain't gonna take it the wrong way. And last but not least, we can start book clubs all day long, right? We can all read a book and talk about the book, right? We can start a Facebook club about the Giants and the football and all of that.
Yes.
How about we start a daggone club about fixing stuff and that need to get fixed? You see what I'm saying? So those are my little thoughts. You know what I mean?
Well, I want to say something about when you were saying in that last part. Again, how you started it, how you closed it, good stuff. But we have to come together on a bigger scale. The bigger scale start with the one person, because we keep saying the bigger scale, but the individual ain't got their act together. It get like we always saying peace, the world about peace. But if each individual don't have peace in their life, the world can't be peaceful. So we keep what they say: crawl before you walk, walk before you crawl. The individual got to get themselves. This is what we got to do. The world will never be at peace until the individual get peace within themselves. So this is how we go. But when you were saying at the beginning about dang, I forgot. But anyway, I'm gonna close it out at the end saying that that we gotta. You were saying about the parts where you were saying about the football and sports. Now watch this. Nobody knew what I was gonna say, but when we talk, do we talk about pertinent things that matter, things that count, things that better us as men, things that better us as individuals, things that provide us better us as fathers, things that make us better as men. Our conversations, that brother Vanless, that brother General, we do, y'all, what we do, we talk about these things, what I just mentioned. We're not wasting time talking about sports. And anybody know I love wrestling, but I don't talk about wrestling. We talk about things that's going to better us. The money going to come, but we're talking about being better men, better fathers, better human beings. We put so much emphasis on everything except that. Because again, I know even when it comes to religion, I always tell people, if your personal life ain't right, your prayer life ain't right. You can scream and talk about scripture all you want to. If you're struggling with these things, trauma, mental health, self-esteem, economics, man, it's just Band-Aid pudding. You ain't really getting your prayers through, like, because you got all these other distractions. People can say they can put the mask on, but at the end of the day, you got to work on everything. You got to get your mind right, your prayer right, your prayer life, your economics, your anger, your trauma, your communication. All those things are factors. Those are factors that make us complete. This is what I'm saying about perfect. Everything matters. Everything matters. The people who are in the mental health can't marginalize your prayer life, your spiritual life, or whatever. And the people on economics can't forget about how important it is to communicate. The people who got communication skills can't forget how important money is. Everything counts. It's like, you remember back in the day, anybody remember the 70s? The hip bone is connected to the leg bone to the knee bone connected to the shin bone. Everything's connected. What they say, even like, again, you could be a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Christian, a non-believer. Everybody's living under this sun, under this planet, and we got to learn how to cohabitate and interact in it. We could be a believer or a non-believer, because guess what? A non-believer is probably building our houses. You know what I'm saying? A believer is praying for the best interests of mankind. There you go. A person straddling the fence, may have the money that a believer needs to get a loan for their house. So everybody counts. You know what I'm saying? We cannot marginalize anybody, but we got to sit there and do what's in the right, best interest for mankind and everybody, because everybody counts. Because at the end of the day, like I say, if you're a believer or non-believer, there's a creator, And so while we having our struggles with all our issues, creator is looking at it, man. I created all. Y'all get your act together.
Yes, sir. But at the same time, like the brother General said earlier about the schools and the politics and everything.
Yes.
It's still, we have to, like I said before, create some kind of paradigm shift to where we control what we're saying. And like you said before, Brother General, and you take accountability in your house where you stay, because you run that. Nobody runs that but you. Nothing outside of you controls you unless you allow it to.
Yeah.
So therefore, from this dialogue, we must live what we're speaking, and
Yeah.
then take in those considerations and discipline, self-discipline and self-esteem to move forward and ascend to another level. Because this message is being heard by I don't know how many people, but it's going to touch somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to take one or it's going to take 100 or it's going to take 1,000, but somebody's going to start from that one and start 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go down the line to change what you think. But like I said before, if you can control what a man thinks, you ain't got to worry about his actions going to be. And the thing about religion, that's the biggest control aspect. You can be a Christian, Muslim, or whatever. You want to go back to, I don't want to start no history lesson, but it's all about control. Dr. John Henry Clark said in one of his lectures, he said, everything the European ever created or touched is about control. Everything. Until we know our power, then when we know it, we gonna change stuff, and we ain't gonna ask for freedom. We gonna take it. You see, and it's not gonna be no peace. It's gonna be blood. You see, because nobody ever took nothing peacefully. You see what I'm saying? So we have to realize what we're saying now, because when we saying we really want some control, you gotta take it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at your history or whatever, what all this country, what they did, took all from the Indians, took all from wherever, they took it. You see, it ain't gonna be done by no peaceful, no treaties, no signing, no paper. Somebody gonna have to get knocked upside the head.
It's always been
just being real and keeping it 100, all the way 100.
It's always been
That's what's gonna have to happen, because somebody gonna be in disagreement, and it might be one that somebody look like us. You see what I'm saying? Because like Morpheus told Neo, some of these people are not ready to be unplugged, and they'll fight to defend this system because they so dependent on it, because they believe in it so much. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So we can talk all day, but when you want to get down to the real nitty gritty, somebody gonna have to get their butt tapped.
Yes.
I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah. So I want Brother General to close it out, because we about that time. So
thank you. I agree with you. Shout out to the families that's doing it. I'm gonna start off with that. I'm gonna just say this, and I'm not even bragging. I'm gonna put it out there because it's not put out there. In my neighborhood, I don't see kids outside after dark. I'm just gonna say that. My neighborhood ain't a whole bunch of white folks in here. Okay. I don't see that. I don't see graffiti. I don't see gum. I don't even see gum on the sidewalk. I don't see no weed bags. Nothing. I'm grateful for the community I live in. So those who watching, they know me. You see what I'm saying? I don't see that in my community. You know what I mean? And I'm glad. I just picked up the newspaper, or matter of fact, I get alerts because I have the news for my county and my city pop up on my phone. The county that I live in, they just authorized new laptops. That's one of the things for all the schools in the county for the next school year. All right, next. I'm not talking about shutting down all the R&R. For my fellas out there, I'm not saying let's cut the sports talk out. I'm not saying let's cut the, you know what I mean? Nah. I'm saying let's highlight the more important issues, the goals. And at the end of the day, to wrap it all up, because this is what the show is about, let us be the positive image. Okay? And if those images that was positive in the beginning is no longer positive no more, okay, let's get them out. You see what I'm saying? And when I say get them out of the roles they're in, because we got to use those rules and regulations like they use it against us right back at them. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You ain't doing your job. Let me pull up the daggone bylaws for the county, because you can't argue with that. Let me pull up the bylaws for the Board of Education, for the school system. This teacher's saying something or doing something they're not supposed to. I'm showing up with the black and white. I'm talking about the rules that y'all wrote. I'm gonna hold you accountable to your daggone standards.
Yes, your own
and
standards.
then I'm gonna build up these young men and women who want to be teachers. I'm gonna push them and mentor them to be not only the best teacher, but how to be administrator, because that's where you start making changes.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna start befriending, because in the community, those teachers shop where I shop at.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Those police officers, those chiefs and people, they shop at the same stores I shop at. You see what I'm saying? And hey, what's going on? How you doing? Can you tell me about such and such? You know? So that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, let's be the best positive Black image that we can be.
All right. So anybody listen, if you see positive Black images on this show, put 100 in the comment section. Put 100 in the comment section. Yes, because guess what? I see 3 kings. I see positive Black man images up in here. I see brilliance up in here. I see royalty up in here. Yes, this was a amazing show. Amazing show. And I'm laughing because I was thinking about one of my vocabulary words, and it's called a menage a Suave. And that is a threesome with Suave, i.e. conversation, gaming, and guess what? Dialogue. Wordplay. You get it? See? And so we have to be able to be appreciative. 100. There you go. And by the way, 100. There you go. Listen, there you go. 100. And I appreciate you, Kings, man. There you go. 100. Hey, man, I'm so happy to have my brother on this thing. Look at that. And he showed up, man. Look at that. There you go. 100. Put my 100 in there. Yes. Oh, my cousin Sabrina. Oh, I love her so much. Hey, by the way, she is if you ain't never met a queen, that's one. In so many different ways. I'm talking about, man. Let me just calm down. It's just that I know we're not talking about, but she's just an amazing woman. You know, Quita Cook. Hey, that she put 100 in there. There you go. See, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate the support. And listen, tell everybody, man, about, we just always trying to grow up broadcast, and we just trying to control the narrative and put out there, because we are great and we don't have to be humble in it. We come from kings. And we and again, I'm all about, anybody know me, I'm a Black man advocate. It's not, I'm not against any other race, any other gender. It's just that I look at first self-preservation. That starts off with me. I think about what's important in terms about me as my male, me being my gender, me being Black, and me being conscious of my position that I was ordained to be. At the beginning of civilization, men have been men, and just because society has fell off, it doesn't change who we are. We are the creators, we are the kings. And it's always been that order. Again, we have to understand, it doesn't start off saying queen, king, it comes to king, queen, and not that we sitting there putting her behind her, but we know our role, and I stand in mine. So I want to thank everybody for showing up. I appreciate you. I appreciate you two kings. Hey, thank you, man, for showing up. Thank you for being a part of this annual Black Man's Dialogue. Man, I'll just let you know I love y'all, brother. Y'all know I do, man. And so,
is it gonna be a part 3?
I'm sorry?
Is it gonna be a part 3?
We're gonna work something out. But listen, just thank everybody for showing up. This is Dr. Brother Suave signing out. Just remember, great minds, great places. I love you. I mean it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
and stream live now. Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave, the podcast, is now being broadcast on NPN Voice. NPN Voice can be found on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, and now on Audible and Amazon Music, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave, the podcast, now on NPN Voice. NPN Voice. Got voice. You heard? This program was made possible by Neighborhood Planet Broadcasting Systems, Neighborhood Planet Network, and from contributions to NPN TV from viewers like you.